What if you gave AI just $50 and 24 hours to turn it into real income? That's exactly what I did. In today's video, we're putting artificial intelligence to the test. Can it plan, create, and profit all by itself? I handed it a small budget, zero human help, and a ticking clock. What happened next surprised me. Stick around because I'll also show how you can apply this same system to automate your own side hustle, even if you never want to show your face on camera. Before we go any further, here's why this experiment actually matters. Most people think making money online requires time, experience, or some secret skill. But AI flips that completely. If a system can work with a tiny budget and a strict deadline, that means it can work even better with time on its side. And that's the real opportunity here. Alright, let's start with setting the stage. The goal? See how much income AI can generate with only $50 in one day. Here's the toolkit. Writesonic, my go-to. AI writer, used for blog posts, product descriptions, and captions. Canva, to design stunning visuals, carousels, and promo banners. ChatGPT, for strategy, research, and scripting. Scribble, to format an ebook on the fly. Payhip, for fast, direct digital sales and 90% plus profit margins. The plan was simple. AI would brainstorm a digital product, build a funnel, create content, and promote it, all in one day. And yes, this was all tracked and automated. What made this setup powerful wasn't the number of tools. It was how each one handled a specific role. Writing, design, formatting, and selling were all separated. That meant no bottlenecks, no waiting, just execution. Let's unlock the next secret, the AI strategy. Here's how we'll do it. An hour-by-hour breakdown. Hour 1. Using Writesonic and ChatGPT, I asked AI to pitch 5 niche digital product ideas. It landed on 50 viral Reels hooks for small business owners. Perfect. Hour 2. Writesonic drafted the ebook. Canva designed the cover. Then I uploaded it to Payhip and set the price at $9. Hour 3 to 5. AI built a basic email opt-in using a free Notion template and generated 3 promo emails. Hours 6 to 10. Using Canva, I created 6 matching Instagram carousels plus 1 Pinterest graphic. All posts were scheduled via Meta and Zapier to go out automatically. This is where most people get stuck, but AI doesn't. It doesn't overthink copy. It doesn't second-guess headlines. It just executes. And when you remove hesitation from the process, speed becomes your unfair advantage. Here's the part most people underestimate when they hear AI made money in 24 hours. It wasn't the speed, it was the decision-making. Normally people stall here, they overthink the niche, they second-guess pricing, they rewrite the product 10 times. AI doesn't do that. It picks a direction and executes immediately. That momentum alone eliminates 90% of the friction that stops side hustles from ever launching. What surprised me most was how clean the process felt. No emotional attachment, no perfectionism, just data-driven choices. The product wasn't perfect, but it was live. And live beats perfect every single time. That's an important mindset shift if you want AI to work with you instead of just generating ideas you never act on. And keep this in mind, because it connects directly to the results you're about to see. Let's now move on to monetization stack. With monetizing, you have a few options to do. This is the simplest and easiest monetization stack to begin with. Affiliate links embedded in the ebook. Tools like Canva and Writesonic. Upsell. Link to a $27 Canva template pack. Link in bio used a free Linktree alternative made with Notion. Here's the subtle genius of this setup. Even if the ebook didn't sell, the affiliate links could still generate income. Even if affiliates didn't convert, the email list was growing. Every piece supported the others. Nothing was wasted. If you thought that was good, wait until you see the results. Here are results. After 24 hours, let's get into the numbers. One ebook sale equals $9. Affiliate commissions equals $68.50. New email subscribers equals 27. Total income, $77.50. Return on $50 spend, 55% profit margin. More importantly, I created assets that can keep earning beyond the 24 hours. And this is the part most people miss. The real win wasn't the $77.50. It was the system. The content, product, and emails didn't disappear after the timer ended. They stayed live, ready to earn again tomorrow. Now, the dollar amount itself isn't the headline. $77.50 isn't life-changing. What is powerful is what happened behind the scenes. An email list was created, a product now exists, a funnel was tested, and data started flowing. Clicks, opens, conversions. Those are assets, not just results. This is where most people misunderstand side hustles. They judge success based on day one revenue instead of system momentum. But if you ran this same setup for 7 days, or scaled traffic just slightly, the math changes fast, especially when AI lets you duplicate what worked instead of starting from scratch. This is also why faceless, AI-driven businesses compound better than manual ones. You don't burn out. You don't rely on motivation. You rely on systems. And systems scale. Yes, AI made money, but could it scale that into $500 a week? Let me know if that's something you want to see, and I'll put that exact question to the test in another video. So make sure to subscribe, because I'm turning this into a full-blown faceless content business, run almost entirely by AI. Anyways, here's why this result matters more than the dollar amount. Most people look at numbers and think success or failure, but what actually happened here is much bigger than $77. What I built in 24 hours wasn't a one-time win, it was an asset. The content exists, the product exists, the funnel exists. That means this system can keep working tomorrow, next week, or next month without starting over. That's the difference between chasing side hustles and building income machines. Once AI helps you cross that first setup hurdle, momentum replaces motivation. And momentum is what most people never reach. They quit before systems have time to work. This experiment proves that AI isn't about shortcuts. It's about removing friction so effort compounds instead of resets. Alright, moving on to the lessons learned. Here's what stood out. Sonic made content creation absurdly fast. Blog posts, product blurbs, emails, done in minutes. Canva wasn't just for design. Its Magic Write feature helped generate hook ideas, call to actions, and more. Scribble formatted a solid-looking ebook in under 20 minutes. Payhip worked perfectly for quick setup and higher profits than Amazon KDP. Quick pause here, because this part matters. None of these tools were used because they're flashy. They were used because they remove friction. When you're racing the clock, anything that slows you down kills momentum. These tools kept the system moving. And here's a tip: add 2 to 3 affiliate links inside your digital product. It gives you another stream of income beyond just the sale. Anyways, this is the part no one talks about, honestly. Most beginners don't fail because AI doesn't work. They fail because they expect instant validation. One day, one post, one product, no sales, and they stop. But systems don't reward impatience. They reward consistency. What AI really gives you is breathing room. It gives you the ability to show up again tomorrow without burning out. When writing, design, and structure stop being obstacles, your only job becomes direction. That's why people quietly win with AI, while others stay stuck watching videos. They commit to letting systems mature instead of chasing dopamine. And once that mindset clicks, income stops feeling random. It starts feeling inevitable. There's something else worth pointing out here, and this is where a lot of people quietly quit. They copy the tools, but not the process. AI doesn't magically print money. What it does is remove resistance. It shortens feedback loops. It lets you test ideas cheaply and quickly without betting weeks of effort on a single outcome. That's why this experiment matters beyond the 24 hours. The same framework works with $50, $200, or even zero upfront. Swap the product, swap the platform, keep the system. Once you understand that, AI stops feeling like a novelty and starts feeling like infrastructure. And remember earlier when I said this could turn into a fully automated, faceless business? This is exactly what that looks like at the ground level. One test, one system. Then scale what works. Next up, let's dive into what I'd do differently next time. This is what I would do differently if I were to start over. Start with a list of pre-vetted affiliate programs. Allocate $10 to $15 on Pinterest or Reels ads for instant eyeballs. Use AI to batch schedule 3 to 5 days of content upfront instead of just one. That last point is huge. AI works best in batches. One focused session can create days or weeks of output. That's how side hustles stop feeling like work and start feeling like systems. Before I break down what worked, I want to point something out that most people miss when they try experiments like this. None of the results came from a secret hack. They came from using a very small stack of tools the right way, each one doing a specific job in the system. And this matters because if you try to use everything at once, you'll burn out. But if you understand why each tool exists in the workflow, everything suddenly clicks. So let me quickly walk you through the exact tools that made this possible. And more importantly, what role each one played. Sonic handled the heavy lifting on words, emails, blog content, product descriptions, even promo captions. Anytime I needed copy fast, this is where it happened. Canva wasn't just for design. I used it for carousels, promo visuals, and even brainstorming hooks when I felt stuck. It's one of those tools that quietly does more than people realize. Scribble is what turned raw text into something sellable. Instead of manually formatting an ebook, it handled the layout, structure, and polish in minutes. And PayHip tied everything together on the back end: direct sales, email collection, and high profit margins without marketplace fees eating everything alive. By the way, none of these are complicated tools. That's kind of the point. The simpler the stack, the easier it is to scale. Here's something worth thinking about. If this entire setup worked with $50 in 24 hours, imagine what happens when you give it consistency. One product becomes 3, one email list becomes an audience. One experiment turns into a repeatable playbook. That's how people quietly build income online, without burnout. And no, you don't need to copy this exact idea. The real takeaway is the structure. AI for ideation, AI for creation, automation for distribution, monetization layered on top. Swap the niche, change the product, adjust the platform, the system stays the same. Before you click away, I want you to notice something important. Everything you saw in this video came from one idea, one system, and one small budget. I didn't need more content. I needed better structure. That's what most people miss. XI doesn't replace effort, but it multiplies smart effort. Once you understand that, every experiment becomes data instead of stress. You stop asking, will this work? And start asking, how do I optimize this? And that shift is what turns side hustles into assets. The next video builds directly on this. Same tools, bigger test, clearer answers. This wasn't a perfect test, but it proved something important. You don't need a big budget, experience, or a camera. You just need AI and a plan. So what happens when I give AI a bigger budget and let multiple tools compete to make money at the same time? If this video helped you out, go ahead and subscribe. I've got more system-based AI income experiments coming your way. Next up, I'm testing 10 different AI tools head-to-head to see which one actually makes money online and which ones are all hype. No theory, just results. See you there.